and good evening to everyone listening out there. My name is Ejimako. I'm a legal practitioner and special counsel to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the indigenous people of Biafra, which are the subject matters of this press briefing and public announcement today in Enugu State, Eastern Nigeria. The press briefing is in the form of a public announcement, as I stated before. I have reduced it in writing on my letterhead because of the sensitive nature of the message it bears. And the press briefing and the public announcement is going to be exactly to the script. So now, therefore, I'll read from the script I have prepared, so I'll stay within context. This is a public announcement stroke press statement issued by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu through my humble self, Ejimako, his special counsel, and is issued to the general public and all media institutions. The subject matter of this public announcement is that by direct order, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu hereby ends once and for all and finally all sit-at-home, including the Monday sit-at-home and any other proposed sit-at-home presently in process. This public announcement, as written, bears the unedited verbatim instructions containing a direct order personally issued by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in his own handwriting on 24th July in the year of our Lord 2023, through my humble self to Mazi Simon Ekpa, instructing him to, quote, desist from calling for any sit-at-home henceforth, and to make a public announcement on his platform, media platform, to the effect that he, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, Mazi Simon Ekpa, is in receipt of a direct order from him, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, to cancel any pending sit-at-home in place at the moment. And also that he, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, has, by the same order, authorized me, Barrister Ejimako, to issue a press statement if he, Mazi Simon Ekpa, fails to make this announcement on his platform. For avoidance of doubt, this direct order to Mazi Simon Ekpa was personally handed to me by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu when I visited him on this 24th of July, 2023 at the headquarters of the Department of State Security Services in Abuja, Nigeria, DSS. Later that day, I tried to contact Mazi Simon Ekpa via his WhatsApp number, but could not reach him until 1:44 a.m. the following day on the 25th of July, whereupon I snapped the direct order as written and sent to him on WhatsApp. He thereafter acknowledged receipt, and we spoke briefly on it and exchanged a couple of text messages thereof. Since that early 25th July 2023, when I conveyed the order to Mazi Ekpa, and he duly acknowledged receiving it, he has not implemented the order or otherwise made such public announcement on his media platform. Nonetheless, I made a conscious decision to give him the benefit of the doubt and thereby accord him time to do the needful. Then late yesterday, further written instructions was issued by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu directly to me by proxy, referring to the extant direct order to Mazi Ekpa, and in addition instructing me that given that Mazi Ekpa has so far not carried out the order, I, Aloy Ejimako, as of council and as of today, the 25th of July, 2023, must proceed to make the order public through a written public announcement and press statement.
You're not disappointed. No, not at all. What should I do? It's what we expect to have. But I want our people to be very calm. I want Biafra land to be calm and peaceful. Calm and very, very peaceful. We are fighting to defend our people, not to kill them. Yes. We are fighting to defend them. That's why I'm here. And we'll continue to do so until we get victory.
Biafra must come. And when Biafra does come, everybody will be free. If Biafra is not free, none of you is going to be free. And that is why I have said it before and allow me to repeat. We have come to set all of you free. And if you allow this nonsense to continue, you'll be sunk. If you have not gotten your Somali visa, go and get it now. Because the zoo is gone. And the hell has arrived.
Yeah, once again, I want to welcome you to this live broadcast today, the first day of August 2023. Thank you for joining. We are going to be discussing some very critical things, very, very important things today. Today is the 1st of August, and of course, you are aware that Mazi Nnamdi was kidnapped an extraordinary rendition 2 years ago, and precisely the 16th day he was kidnapped, 16th day of June 2021. And of course, it's 2 years and 2 months plus now, almost 2 months plus, and we are still waiting the return of Mazi Nnamdi back to us so that we can do and go and carry out the actions we need to carry out. Most things are pending because Mazi Nnamdi is not around. Most things are going wrong because Mazi Nnamdi is not around. Most things are expected to be carried out as soon as he's out, and most things are supposed to be done now for him to be out. And basically, we're going to be looking at the things that are happening right now underground. Some of them are meant to make sure that he is dead. Some of them are meant to make sure that he doesn't come out, and some of them are meant to make sure that he's out and he comes out alive, healthy, hearty, and of course the complicity of the international community and what is going on around Mazi Nnamdi right now, underground moves and other actions going on. I want to welcome you to this live broadcast today. Today is Tuesday, the first day of August 2023, and of course we know that days just keep moving. The Gregorian calendar gives us January, February, March, and all of that, and we move in that line. That doesn't mean that anything special in the month, but it's just that any day you wake up and you see a day, it is special to you, and it is a day purposefully made for you to succeed and do the right thing, to engage in the doctrine of truth, and to carry out everything that would make your life and the life of other people around you to be successful. I want to welcome you. This is Biafra Global Network, and my name is Kelechi Ambrose. Good to have you here. Thank you. Now, please, thank you for staying put and always being here, and being, of course, those people who are truthful, the truthful people who are always with us here. Thank you so much. We want to appreciate and want to thank you. I'm seeing a message from somebody, Arinze. Since when did look at he has not even heard me what I want to say. He's talking nonsense. You see how our people reason? Our people are just so daft. Look at what somebody just comes in. He comes into a program. He doesn't even know what the person wants to say. He is Russian. That is how they reason with their anus. Their anus approach and their mental operation. Their anus. Well, you know what anus is? That's what they call anus. Their anus platform like an e-frog. Not heard me say anything. He doesn't even know what I want to say. He doesn't even understand the topic. He just jumps in. And when did Nigerian government allow you to go inside to see? Oh my God, that's why we need serious. One of those things I want to say today, because so many diabolic things happening around Biafra that is affecting so many things, affecting to tell me about and all of that. So thank you, Ego. Good to have you here. Almighty God bless you too. And of course, those of you who are watching, please share this program. Understand what is happening. Begin this way. I'm going to begin this way. Right now, we all can testify that the international community is mute saying anything. And we all can testify that the international media platforms are not saying anything. All of you can testify that. Silence by the size and the silence of the international community, we know that they are not truthful. They are not carrying out things with good conscience as they claim. The other day I was listening to BBC, I think that was last week, and they were saying that they are still ranked #1 of speaking the truth and doing the right thing and saying the right thing. Now you can imagine BBC talking about being ranked #1 in the world, and yet BBC is not saying anything about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. BBC is not saying anything about their extraordinary rendition. BBC is not even making any documentary, any statement, any activity, carrying out any questions, interview, or all of that concerning Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. BBC is not even talking about what is happening in Biafra land, the killing. I'm talking about the mainstream BBC now, talking about what is happening, the killings of our people. They are not looking on that, but they are busy talking about. Today they talked about some people killed, one person or so killed in Ukraine, and they are interested in this, reporting their interest, where their interest is threatened. Russia is threatening their interest, so they can always talk about that. But where their interest is not threatened, where Biafrans are allowing them to continue with their thieving and their stealing program in Biafra land, and we now are busy killing ourselves, that is where, and that is where now they are. They know it doesn't threaten their interest. As long as Biafrans are killing themselves, as long as the indigenous people are busy fighting themselves, they are not concerned. So it's not, they are not threatened. Their investments, their businesses, everything they have in those places are not threatened. So they are not going to talk about it. They're not going to discuss about it. But here, this same BBC is being ranked #1 in saying the truth, being ranked #1 in maintaining being independent. That's a independent news media, and all of that. Now you can imagine if BBC is #1 as they have ranked it, or whatever. I don't know how, whichever medium that is being done. If it is being ranked #1, I don't even care to know, because those things gets me pissed. If BBC is ranked #1, that means as #1, they represent the conscience of the evil people, the negative conscience of the evil people, because they are not talking about. Now, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case is #1 case in the world of injustice, of criminality, and of fundamental human rights trampled under feet, destroyed. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case, talking about in the contraption called Nigeria, designed by Britain, which they regard as #1 in Africa. If somebody like Mazi Nnamdi Kanu standing and representing 120 million people is not being talked about, in spite of the fact that he is unjustly held in the confines of the Directorate of State Service, DSS, in the confine in Abuja, Aso Rock area, opposite Aso Rock, and not being said about, not being talked about. CNN is quiet, BBC is quiet, all these media houses are quiet. If Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case does not prompt them to go into massive investigation and massive actions to make sure that the truth is unleashed, the truth is established, the truth is spoken about, then you know that these international media platforms and these international houses are flawed. And everything the international community is talking about, talking about transparency, talking about rule of law, talking about equity, justice, and all of that is fake. It's fake. As clean, as clear as it is, as you and I can see it, crystal clear, it's fake. That means we cannot find hope in the international community. Now, one thing I want to make you understand about the international community, let's use it the way they put it, the phrase international community, because I don't know what is community about the international scene. Anyways, but let's look at it that way, because that is the narrative that is being spoken about. Let's just imagine that the international community, is now quiet. Let's just we're not even imagining. We already know. Now let's just imagine that the international community is interested in what concerns us. Now let me tell you, if they're interested, of course you will see it in the action. The United Nations Secretary General would have been in the zoo, and they would have been talking just like they're talking tough to Niger Republic. The members of the West African nations, ECOWAS and UN and AU and all of that would have been the way they are talking tough on the issue of Niger Republic, as we are talking right now, is the same way. I think I'm seeing an E-frog here. I need to block him off here. He's a very stupid idiot. Let me block him up here. Now, the way they are talking tough in Niger about Niger Republic, they want to invade and all of that. The same way UN would have been talking tough, America would have been talking tough, France would have been talking tough against the rendition, extraordinary rendition, not just rendition, extraordinary rendition, captures, torture of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu for the past 2 years, almost 2 months now, 2 years plus. Nobody's saying anything about it, and they are talking about human rights. In fact, I've seen so many documentaries from BBC, Al Jazeera, and CNN, and all those media houses where they are going to communities talking about human rights. In fact, there's one particular one they did recently on Sudan on BBC, talking about the 3 months, just this 3 months period of fighting in Sudan. They're already talking about some people raped, some people abused, and some the RSF, abusing and of course using the people as victims of war and abusing them, abusing the women, and they have already done documentary about it. But for 2 years and almost 2 months, BBC has not found their voice in the issue of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That tells you that the international community cannot help us. Now, let me tell you the only way the international community will now begin to speak out of shame. It is when we now organize ourselves and then begin to do the right thing with one voice and then begin to take them up internationally. That is when, out of shame, they will now begin to do the right thing. That is how they operate. If we don't bring out our voices, and just make it under one umbrella, we come strongly and speak one voice facing Nigeria and facing the international community, we will never have them. They will pretend as if they are not seeing anything. That is the narrative. That's how it operates. That's how they operate. They respect justice. They know that by the UN Charter today, there is room. In fact, the UN Charter talks about right to self-determination and all of that, and all the clauses, the what they call it, articles and all of that, spells out fundamental human rights, and at the same time the independence of nation and the right to self-determination. In fact, article 1 paragraph 2 also is it article 1 now? So yes, talks about the nations and their fundamental right of nations and to self-determination. Spells it out clearly. And yet, a nation under the contraption Nigeria called Biafra is struggling, being killed, and peace has eluded the world because of that region. Yet, they are not saying anything about it. What does that tell you? Now, the reason why they are quiet again is because of what we are doing to ourselves. Anytime a people refuse to go for truth, I'm coming to what is happening on the ground now so that you can understand. I'm just want to take you from the international scene and bring you to what we are doing. Anytime a particular people begin to tell themselves lies, begin to promote lies, begin to talk about lies, begin to support lies, begin to fight truth, they are already on the path of doom. And that happens when people don't want to be sincere to themselves. when people look at what is white and say it is gray. Now look at what is happening in Biafra land right now. Look at what is happening in Biafra land right now. Now the rate of killings, if the international community is sincere and comes into Biafra land to report what is going on in Biafra land, I tell you, some of you will marvel. The kinds of things that are happening in Biafra land right now by the so-called people who say they are seeking for freedom for the people. Now, let me tell you how it's going. Let me tell you how it's going. Today, we have divided camps. In fact, it has become, of course, we expect all of this stuff. That is why I tell you that if you don't understand the times, and if you don't understand the seasons, if you don't understand how things operate and how things happen, you just find yourself being, I have heard so many people tell me that, no, what is happening right now, they are not interested in Biafra again. In fact, anything that concerns Biafra, they're not ready for it. And anything that concerns that, they are already having high blood pressure, their blood pressure is so, they are saying so many things. And some of them say anything that has to do with Biafra, they don't want to be involved in all of that. The only reason why you would say that is because you have not understood what times and seasons are in things like freedom fighting. It happens everywhere. Whenever it happened in South Africa, when Mandela was caught, there was division everywhere. There was division, honestly. And one of those stuff is this. One of the things that happen is this. The enemies now, when they take the leader, they begin to fund some people within so that they can breed divisions. Now, when somebody like Gaddafi was taken away from Libya, when he was captured and killed, the NATO and other interest nations, started sponsoring militias. That is why till today in Libya, there's confusion. There's confusion. When the people begin to understand that the evil going on in their midst is sponsored, then what the people need to do is to begin to look for these agents who have allowed themselves to be sponsored to destroy the peace of the people. That is where we're feeling it in Biafra land. They are benefiting massively from the evil going on. Yes, Ego, they're benefiting massively from it. Now, the reason, anytime you find, even when Jesus was saying something in scripture, he said, when you strike the shepherd, the sheep scatters. The sheep scatters. It is, see, what is happening in Biafra land right now is not unusual, but it is not ordinary. Listen, it is not unusual, but it is not ordinary. Now, this is what takes me into what is happening on the ground right now. Now, let me tell you first what is happening to Mazi and Kanu now. If you don't know, from everything, from the look of things and from the body language of the lawyers and the things that are happening, Mazi and Kanu is under serious. If you really read that letter that he wrote, you will discover a particular place. You are not in a position to know what I'm discussing with the governors, what the governors are doing on my behalf or something, or to get me free of something. Mazi Kanu said that. Now, let me tell you something about that particular clause. That particular statement is fundamental for anybody who is intellectually sound to understand. That particular statement. Now, let me project that letter again so that those of you who don't understand can understand here. This is a particular letter that was, written to get Simon to desist from the killings and using sit at home as a means, trying to show off that he has power now. He has been funded by Biafrans to defeat Biafrans. That is why I keep telling those people, though him money now are few, they have reduced drastically. So where they make money now from kidnappings and massive destruction, causing pollution in Biafra land. Let me tell you something. Simon and his rogue team are making more money now from kidnapping. Those who are funding them have reduced. Now they depend strongly on kidnapping. And look at what Mazi Kanu said here. I embarked on this movement to liberate our, not to enslave them. I entity wishes to inflict unnecessary hardship on the people. I have authorized our lawyer to issue a statement Okay, it is. The first page of this is where that thing is. This is a direct order from me. I hereby instruct you to at home equally refrain from anti-same governors or persons in political positions, because you are not in a position to know what they are doing. That you, as a wise person, you must ponder. Sorry, you must ponder over this statement, because you are not in a position on my behalf. Now, this statement has two sides. Now, let me give you the first side. The first side here now is that the governors themselves are having the heat from the people. Now, the heat from the people are coming from two parts. One, the negative side, and the positive side. One, the positive side is the people, us, every one of us who decided to sit at home, pressure them. Those who are capitalizing on the sit, capitalizing on this, everything, they kidnap these same governors, people, to make money for themselves. So the governors are sitting on a time bomb, and where those who are criminals using the issue of Mazi and Kanu to make money, they kidnap the governors, they kidnap the governors' people or some political persons, and try to get money, make money from them, to pressure the governors to give them money and all of that. So from that point now, people like Simon and Co are making money from that angle. But even if that thing is causing unrest and for the governors, it doesn't mean that it is what is making them pressure the federal government to release Mazi and Kanu. No, they are only fighting for their selfish ends. If it had been on the sit-at-home level alone, they wouldn't have gone this far, because they know that, okay, well, let's just say we lose money only on Mondays, but we'll make money other days. But because their own lives are in danger, and they are being threatened by those who are criminals too in the land, fighting for their own control of Biafra land, not for rightful purposes, but for their selfish ends and for their selfish actions, they are now putting pressure, trying to talk Mazi and Kanu into political solution. So the discussion is taking long with Mazi and Kanu, because basically the governors are coming from the point where when Mazi and Kanu comes out, Biafra stuff will not really have that effect and strength again. And so, because they know that if they just release Mazi and Kanu, when he comes out, definitely Biafra project will be very, very, in fact, this time around it will skyrocket. But they are trying to see how they can make sure that the division in the land is so massive, so that when Mazi and Kanu comes out, he's going to meet not people who are going to be loyal to him. So what the governors are doing right now is they're investing on their own precise militias. They are now creating pro-Biafra, they're creating their own, in quotes, pro-Biafra organizations. You saw what the Enugu governor did. Now, do you know what they want to do? They know that the name Biafra is sacrosanct and important. That means the name Biafra means to the people freedom. So what they need, what the governors are doing now, I'm giving you what is happening on the ground now so that you can understand from intel and everything, from observation, from intel. I'm giving you what's happening right now. On the sides of the governors, they're afraid of their lives, because people like Simon and other people who are criminals are kidnapping them one after the other to demand for ransom, and they know that they are not free moving in Biafra land. So that is putting them under pressure. But that does not mean that the pressure they are being put under is for the interest of Mazi and Kanu based on the criminals. The criminals are not doing it to put pressure on them to release Mazi and Kanu. The criminals are only using the name of Mazi and Kanu as the takia, as the Allahu Akbar in this instance. So, but the governors are still under pressure because their lives at stake, and the lives of their aides and other people who are around them. You heard today in Abuja, an army general was killed, and his sister today in Abuja. I don't know whether you've heard that story. An army general was killed, and the sister too. So you see, the things that are happening is on them. Now, you know what? How Chukwu does his things. He uses even the foolish things and the evils to bring about the result of what he wants to do, and yet he will destroy the evildoers. You understand it? He will destroy the evildoers, and at the same time, he will use the works of the evildoers to bring about the manifestation of what he's doing, of the nation, or what he wants to do. So that's why the scripture says in Romans chapter 8 that all things work together. Romans chapter 8, 25 also 24. All things work together for good to them that love the Lord and are called unto his purpose. Because you know why? Everything you do does not take God unawares. Both the criminality, both the evil, both everything does not take God on. We see somebody burying Peter Pan. Now you see, they don't have, look at Simon and Co. They just give themselves different names. You know, Peter Pan, there was one movie where we have what's the name of that movie now? You know, where we have Peter Pan, the father of you know, Peter Pan has been used in several movies. Look at how idiotic he is. He just comes here and say, you suddenly, have you been here before to listen to me? Well, you have been listening to me. You know I'm in love with Mazi and Kanu, so you just have to be here to constitute nuisance because you are part of the criminals and your end have come. People like you, your end have come. So keep preaching the truth. The only thing that is haunting you people when you people come out and begin to say nonsense on when people are preaching the gospel of truth is your conscience. Your conscience is pricking you. If not, you're not going to jump like a thief or come to a program that does not concern you and begin to post any nonsense. Anyways, Chukwokike leads you into the platform so that you can come hear the truth. The truth will stand against your conscience, and at the same time, you're going to post nonsense, and then the nonsense you post will now become your condemnation, and the truth that you hear will now become your destruction. Do you understand it? So everybody who comes here to post nonsense, what happens is this: the truth, the nonsense you post becomes your condemnation. The truth you now hear becomes your destruction. So I leave you here. So let me go on with the preaching. Now listen. So the governors now are afraid for their lives from the criminals, and at the same time, they are put under pressure based on the fact that the majority of the people are desirous for their freedom. So what they're doing now is that they create little militia groups, make them believe that we also believe in Biafra. So they give them names that would tally with Biafra, that give them an impression that Biafra is ultimate anyways, but we know how we're going to do it. You know, these Biafra things, that's how we do it. You know, you don't, you just go in a way. And so you saw the other stuff when they posted the Enugu governor, what they posted the other time. They said a pro-Biafra organization or something like that. They want to use the narrative, what the people love. So what they use is they use what the people love and what attracts the people, just like what Simon did. Because he knows the people are so desperate for freedom. So that desperation for freedom is their interest. He cashes into the people's conscience by supporting anything they want, and then wins their heart. And then now he has built his militia, and now he's carrying out his program. He and Azuka. Go and look at them very well. Look at them. Look at Azuka's hand. Look at Simon's hand. You'll see some stuff there. Those are things that are showing you some stuff you need to understand. Now, I'm not going into that anyways. It's not my business. But I'm trying to bring you now to another side of this story. But before I go to that side, I want to tell you now. Let me continue with this. Now, the governors are now building militias. They build their own security outfits, and they try to give them an impression that we also were in support of Biafra. You see somebody like Asarido Kubo, he has his own militia. He keeps talking as if he's interested in Biafra. He tells you that also that they are interested in Biafra, but they are interested in Biafra for the sake of sustaining Nigeria. So the interest in Biafra is not truthful, it's not on transparency, it's not on accountability, it's not on the path of truth. It is only a narrative like an Allah Akbar program that the Boko Haram use to kill people. It is a narrative to make you have an impression that they also are Biafrans and they support Biafra, they support the freedom of the people. But you know, we have to do this things and we have to sustain what we have right now, which is called Nigeria, and we can make it better. That is how they do it. That's how they roll. So now this is what is happening. The governors are now on their toes. And that is why you saw that thing on that letter. Mazi Nnamdi says, Simon, you are not in the position to understand, because Simon is not in the equation. Simon is not in the program of Mazi Nnamdi. Simon does not have any information, does not have any connection with Mazi Nnamdi as at now. And by that letter, it tells you that Mazi Nnamdi is very irate. You know what it means to be irate? Very cross, very irate, very angry with him. And so, now let me tell you this. In Biafra land right now, ESN has been divided. There's a group that is under Chinas and Woru. There's another group that is under Simon Ekpa, who are now loyal to him. Those ones have sworn oath to him under Butuzo. There's another group that has refused to be part of these two, that is on their own, expecting and waiting for Mazi Nnamdi to come out. Then there's a fourth group that is dancing around. They go to Simon, they make some money from there. They go to DOS, they make some money from here. They are playing dilly-dallying game, and they are trying to make some stuff for themselves. So they play games here and there. They don't want to be steady because you know why? They are making monies. I know some persons who are playing that kind of games. They pretend they are normal with Simon. They pretend they are normal with the DOS and Chinasa Nworu. Then they pretend that they are just there for Mazi and Kanu. But what they want to do is they want to get money from you. Some of them have approached the accountability group too. They want to get money here. They want to get money here. They want to get money here. We know the spirit behind that, but we're not saying anything because we know what is happening. Now, these four sets of people are propelled by the actions, by two forces, now the positive and the negative. Majority of these people who are on the negative, are people who are being controlled by those who are heading this militia, this group of, like for instance, Simon has a group and Simon is controlling them diabolically. And Simon and Azuka controlling them diabolically. Now, Chinasa also has his own group. They are being controlled diabolically. Now, if you observe what is happening in Biafra land, you will discover that the infighting is between cults. I don't know whether you guys have understand this. Infighting, if you check, they are all having their different shrines. And the confusion in Biafra land right now is that there are so many strange gods in Biafra land. Some of them from the Fulani enclave, some of them from the Oduduwa enclave, some of them from India, some of them from different parts of the world. Strange. And there's conflict in the interest of all of these gods. Conflict. They go handle that criminal from the handle. I think that should be Simon anyways, or one of his rogue team members. So let him continue to constitute nuisance. He's telling me that we have 12 watching. Why not move so it could be 11? You are here, still here looking at, you can still be in a place where 12 people are watching. And that means I am very important. That means what I'm saying is important. That means your value, if you are here commenting, that means you cannot do without me. So continue. Simon, continue. Huh? So each of these groups, now let me tell you where the problem of Biafra right now is. Why you see lots of people are dying and being used as sacrifice for all of these strange gods. If I tell you, let me tell you now, if you want to know, if you care to know, the killings, the dyings, and all the things happening in Biafra right now, in Biafra land right now, are sacrifices for all of these deities and gods. So you see these killings and deaths that is happening. It's not ordinary. You should know this. Now, I told you the other time, I said that the issues of division when it comes to striking the shepherd is normal in any field in any endeavor, any field. Whenever you attack the leader, naturally you cause some. For instance, let me take you to after the Babylonian Empire, after the Babylonian Empire and Belshazzar was overthrown, and then of course Darius took over from the last Babylonian king, and then that was I think around 600 and something BC, and then was it? Oh, I hope I'm not making a mistake. Silly submissions here. I've forgotten. It's a long stuff. And now listen. Now, when he took over, of course, with what's the name of this guy? The Midi Empire, which is the Persian Empire. The Midi-Persian Empire was in control, under Cyrus and Darius and other people who came. When Emmanuel now spearheaded the Grecian Empire, now took over. Now, when Alexander the Great died, there was the four generals were in charge of 4 territories that were under the Grecian Empire, then divided the territories and took every part. So divided. Territory was not territories. There was no division when Alexander the Great was there, because he was the head. He was the one who, he headed the Grecian Empire. But as soon as he died, generals took over. Now that is the anytime a visionary dies, it's for the fact that for the fact Kanu shepherd, you would scatter the sheep. It's ordinary because there are lots of demonic and spiritual ground. So spiritual actions going on underground. Today in Biafra land, we have so many deities that are people worshiping. Today, Chinas and Warriors group has their juju men, those who are doing the stuff for them. Simon's group has his own juju men doing their stuff for them. Other militia groups with different in different small sects have their own also, and everybody is clashing. They're all clashing, and most of these juju are from foreign lands. And of course, ROC is a very, very massive place, you know, where you have several kinds of. We know that initially the god that the people, the Biafrans worship, was the god of Chukwu, the god Chukwu, the god of Abraham. He was the inspiration, and he was the one being worshipped in the land. Then when RC began, they started, you know, spoiling everything. It's always normal in the human endeavor. Whenever there's a good thing, out of it, bad will come, because people will begin to, because the human mind is broad spectrum. So it has the ability to create and recreate some stuff and to corrupt things. It happened in the days of Eve and Adam. You know, she was able to look at clearly on truth and decide to toe the path of lies. And that was when she adhered to the devil and ate the fruit, according to the Bible. And today we see how people are generating evil from different activities. Thank you so much, Daniel Lazy. Thank you so much. So now they generate evil, and at the same time cook the evil for their selfish end. Now let me take you now straight to what is happening in Biafra land right now. As I told you, Mazi Kanu is under serious pressure right now, and that pressure is that they want to make sure now, as they keep busy, they are destroying the program outside. They are keeping Mazi Kanu busy with clauses and giving him options and trying to talk him to agree to their terms, and he's insisting on freedom. They are giving him terms. They are telling him about taking the eastern states and leaving the south and all of that. All those divide and rule. They have divided the people and now want Mazi Kanu to take part of the people and part of the land. It's not possible. You don't divide us and tell me to take part when we are one. You don't do that. It doesn't work. These are the things they're doing. They're trying to give him several. They want to give him anything he wants so that he can give up this thing and somehow let him come into the system. And even if they want to look at Biafra, but for now, let them drop it and just focus on see how it can be that we can just continue as Nigeria. Maybe we'll just do some kind of relaxing some things, yes, relaxing some stuff that they just want the Nigeria to be together so that they can have access to the oil. And Britain also would have access to the oil, because if there's a total division, the access to the oil will be restricted. It will not be as it is as based on the fact that now they are stealing from it massively, and they are taking from it anyhow and reaching the Fulanis who are watching for the British, and the British also taking their own portion in large quantity for years, 50 years, stealing the resources of the people, both gold and resources. Look at Nigeria Republic. Look at what they are doing. Lots of things happening, and that people don't know. So for them to keep Mazi Kanu this long, to try to, give this thing up in the way he's going about it. They want it to be reduced to the barest minimum. So now what is happening is that also out there, they are dividing us, creating lots of divisions, sponsoring those people they have put money in their hands to destroy the whole program. People like Simon Ekpa and other people from the Nigeria system, the mainstream Nigeria system, to be funding them and causing some mayhem, causing some problems, so that they will be fighting, in-house fighting, and then using Mazi and Kanu as the excuse for the fighting. So now we want the people to understand this. If you don't know what is happening to be not ordinary, then you will not know how to solve it. Now, since we know that these things are not ordinary because they are coming from different altars, different things happening, different altars. Since we now know that it is not ordinary, now the onus is on us. Now, the only way we can fight this thing is one. Let me tell you, the only way you can fight this thing is one, to have a heart of truth. Let me give you this very simple way. Now, the reason why Encham would work on you to make you do things that you are not supposed to do in this Biafra program, under Biafra project, is because your heart is not truly on the path of truth. Let me explain it further. Now, if you look at the scripture, let me take the scripture because it's very important, because it's fundamental. If you look at the book of Romans chapter 1 verse 28, it says something there. Because they refuse to retain God in their mind. Because they refuse to retain God in their minds. Remember, Mazi and Kanu said, we have to have Chukwokike as the root. Our mindset must and if it is all about Chukwokike, you will not in evil of self. Only truth. Only truth. Now, when you say you refuse, because they refuse to retain God in their minds, that means because they refuse to retain truth. That's what it means in their mind, because God is truth. Jesus said in John chapter 17, verse 70, he says, sanctify them by their truth. Thy word is truth. So, which means that God is truth. When Paul said in Romans chapter 1, verse 28, that because they refuse to retain God in their mind, he was saying that because they refuse to retain truth, because truth is the same as God in their mind. What happened when they refused? He gave them over to a reprobate mind. Now, please, I want somebody to check the word reprobate and send the meaning here on the comment section, so that those e-frogs who don't always, those people who want to fight the truth, they don't always look at dictionary. Once you bring a word, they want to use it to blackmail you. Just like when one time I did something, I said, I propose, I propose this. Somebody now took it up and wanted to use it to blackmail me. And all of them said, I propose, that I'm imposing myself. And they don't understand the word propose means I suggest. So when people want to blackmail you, they don't want to look at the meaning of what you're doing. They just want to look at how they're going to manipulate what you have to destroy you. So I want somebody to look at that. Reprobate, what that word reprobate means. When they refuse to retain truth in their heart, God gave them over to a reprobate mind to do things that are not right. I want somebody to look at that and give us the meaning. Now, let me bring it to you. Because do you know why most of you are being misled in Biafra project? What is happening on the ground now? There are so many jujus where they're calling all of you who are believing in people. Because your heart does not carry fundamental truth. Evil and stubborn heart to truth. Yes, evil and stubborn heart. But I want you to give me another definition from the dictionary. Evil and stubborn heart. I want you to give me another word so people can understand, because they are used to evil and stubborn. So when you say evil and stubborn, they don't understand. They still think stubborn evil. They don't understand it. I want a detailed explanation of reprobate. Reprobate. I want a simpler stuff. When you say evil, people are used to evil and stubborn. When you say evil, they still don't want to. But when you give them, I want a right word. Ego, please get it for us. Get it for us. Get it for us. He gave them over to a reprobate mind to do things that are not right, that are not convenient, that are not truthful, that are evil, things that are very odd, things that doesn't make sense, things that when you look at it, you wonder, why is this person doing this thing? Now, do you know why most people in Biafra land, when you look at them today, you say, why are they doing these things? Because their heart initially is not standing on firm doctrine of truth, and they are actually not plain and straight with the doctrine of Biafra, or the purpose of Biafra. So when this juju begin to fly around, Simon does his own juju upon the people, because when it captures your heart, of course, definitely his juju comes over you. And if you don't have a plain heart, you cannot analyze what he's doing. You cannot know when he's doing right and wrong, because the juju spell will be on you. Juju spell works on a heart that is not standing firm on what it wants and truth. So just like he has used deceit to manipulate all of you to believe in him, just like we all believe that he was on the right path. As soon as that juju thing was sent forth, those who don't know, those whose hearts are not firm on the truth were easily manipulated, because everything they were doing was inspired by spiritual activities. Now, let me play this, because I always want to, get along to this particular message that Mazi Nnamdi said. Truth and honesty. If you don't have that heart of truth and honesty, all these juju spell, even when they do wrong, you say, no, we keep on, let's go. When they do anything wrong, you say, no, they're right. When they do unprincipled hearts, thank you so much, Ego. Unprincipled hearts, bad heart. Unprincipled, that means a heart that is not steady, that does not know its left from its right. A heart that cannot tell what is true and what is evil. Unprincipled. A heart that dances here and there, anything goes. If they say jump up, you jump up. If they say jump down, you jump down. If they say go and steal, you steal. If they say go and kill, you go and kill. If they say go and die, you go and die. If they say go and quench, according to Fela, zombie, you just go anywhere, because they don't have the mind of God. They do anything. So Simon says, hey, Simon sneeze. That sneeze was wonderful. And Simon blew kata. They say, that kata will put on for bread chop. Simon do this, everything, because you know why? Their spell is on them, because their hearts are not principled. I like that word, unprincipled hearts. Thank you, Ego, for this. Thank you so much. Now, let me play this Mazi Nnamdi message, because as I keep talking, you begin to listen to those kinds of messages. You begin to understand better when Mazi Nnamdi says truth and honesty. When Mazi Kanu says all those stuff. Now, listen to this. Now, let me play it to you so you can listen. Now, listen. What is?
If we abandon Chukwukika Biama in truth and honesty, please goodbye to Biafra. Biafra can have in the years. You'll be only running around in circles. You can never come. It is the kingdom of heaven itself. You want to do something that is happening in heaven, on earth, for mankind to see and testify to the grace of God. You have to be of the courage. You have to be without fear in the face of your enemies. If you are without fear before your enemies will run from you, rather than you running from them. Your enemies will run from you. If you speak the truth always, regardless of the consequences, lies will run from you. You must protect those who cannot protect themselves, not to steal from them. I repeat, it is your job as a child of heaven, IPOB family member, to protect those who cannot protect themselves. That is your job. Not to kidnap them, not to rob them. You must be of good conduct. That's Chiku Okike Abia left. If these conditions are not in place, then Biafra will not come. Biafra Gahabia. Going to a native doctor, Dibianyanzu, cannot save you. If you want Biafra, it doesn't work. We don't believe in that rubbish. Chukwukika is our shield and our guide. We don't commune with darkness. I am warning all 17 commanders, all our commanders, we don't commune with the devil. We don't do Odeshi. we believe in the protection that Chukwukikabiyama can offer. The weapon you need to protect yourself is your gun and your ammunition. We don't commune spirit.
To the effect that why is it that when we're talking about supporting Radio Biafra and the work that Radio Biafra is doing, and this nonsense about people forming Biafra government here, Biafra government in exile there, and all that stupidity, when there is no Biafra yet? Why is it necessary that our people must be deceived? Why are we prone? Why are Igbo people, I'm not saying all Biafra nationalities, why are Igbo people prone to being deceived? Why do we accept lies more than the truth? You can look at the other communal groups that they set up that crumbled. What happened? They are dead, they are buried, they are finished. Nothing is coming out of them anymore. The cockroach that comes up and mentions the word Biafra wants to have his own cabinet. What type of...
Yeah, thank you so much for joining back. Thank you for listening to that stuff. I needed to play that so that you can get a perspective. I want to ask us a question here, but before I do that, I want to appreciate Ego for going through and getting us a dictionary meaning of this. You know, principle, truthfulness is the key on principled heart, bad heart. Ifeanyi, good to have you. Ifeanyi Anyanso, good to have you here. People keep the faith and believe firmly in the ability of the accountability group and to deliver on the process that would lead us to achieving Biafra independence. All hail MNK. Thank you so much, Ifeanyi. Good to have you. I appreciate it. I've been looking forward to your message too. Now, let me ask you a question, especially those people. You know why we always talk about Simon? Let me tell you like why we always use Simon as you know, as the icon or as the figure that that epitomizes all the criminals. Let me tell why I use Simon, because Simon is the latest error. He's the latest error that has misled the people and, you know, still have, at least to an extent, ability to get money from the people. The latest 419 that has criminal that has taken over. So whenever we talk about Simon, we are also to other people. Now I want to ask those people, case study, case study. At the same time, he's the total sum. The total sum. That's the right word here. The total sum. You know. Because if it's a case study, that means they are still under process. That means we have not come to conclusion yet. But in this regard, it is already concluded that he's a criminal. We know fundamentally, and so he is the epitome, the total sum of all the criminals, you know, and all of that. Now, let me ask you guys a question. Those of you, because I want you to test yourself on the scale of spiritual activities and spiritual knowledge. I want you to test yourself. Why is it that everything that Simon does, including the killing of our people, including when it's obvious that he collected your monies and including the ones to do the oil installation, no oil exploration in Biafra land, that no oil will be lifted, including the ones he told you that they're going to shoot down helicopters, they're going to do this and all of that, they're going to stop the election, they will make sure election is not conducted, and told you that everything that is needed to stop the election has been acquired and is there. You know, now, including all of this stuff, all the lies he has told you, you gave him all these monies for him to tell you all of these lies. And none of these things he said he had done. How come you still can believe him and still give him money? Ask yourself that question. Do you think it's ordinary? How come you could believe that Simon has not done anything wrong with all of it, and you have put him in the place of God, which means he can never do wrong. He can never be questioned. You can never ask him questions. In fact, everything he said initially, telling you to stop the election, was just coincidental. It's just one of those things. After all, we gave him money for that, so we can still move on. Now, ask yourself a question. How come I'm not questioning Simon in spite of all of this? It's just like you give somebody money, go and buy me akara. The person you gave money to buy akara came back, they didn't bring the akara. The person now says you should give him money to go and help you buy bread. I don't know whether you understand. He has not brought the akara you told him to buy. He has not shown you the money. He comes again. You say you didn't ask him where is the money for the akara. He said, no, give me another money. Let me go and buy bread for you. And you just count money and give to him. I'm trying to make it very simple so that these people who are under the spell, you people don't know the kind of juju the kind of juju. You see that juju man that Nelly, Simon and Mazuka were accusing Nelly of. They are working with that guy. Lots of juju activities. It is only a clean heart, a principled heart that the juju cannot manipulate. You see, me and my team, the accountability group, we can never be manipulated with any juju. It's not possible. Because you know why? Our heart is set on the truth. Our heart is not governed by the activities of people who are of low mental faculty. Simon's mental faculty is low. Now you subject your own mental faculty under that low mental faculty. You are under zero. That's the truth. Because if Simon tells you that he's going to stop election, he collects hundreds of thousands of dollars from you, said he's not going to make sure there's no election in Biafra land, and yet election is held properly, no resistance, and it is held to the point now he's still collecting money, telling you different things. He told you he has a house in Maryland, Biafra house. He has not gone to show, he has not, since March, he's showed that. Since March, he told you that in July or in June, everything will be completed and you're going to see the office. He has not gone to the office to broadcast. He has not, Azuka has not gone there to dance and pop champagne and press breast, and she and her husband. All of them in US, including Ngozi Rabozi, all of them in the US, have not gone to that house. They have not shown you the banner in front of the house as he told you he's going to do it. The logo up and side. They have not done anything since then. They only showed that they are arranging seats in those places, and that is the end of the story. You are not asking questions. Ask yourself, why am I not asking questions? Is something not wrong somewhere? Is something not wrong somewhere? Ask, think deep. Think deep. Murphy, what has Simon that you gave all the money done? You gave Simon money. He has not done anything. You're coming to ask me that he's telling you to question him for the money that you gave him. You're coming to ask me what I've done. Oh my God. What I've done is this. You didn't give me money, but I realized that he's on the path of lies, and I'm now teaching you to know that he's on the path of lies, that you should stop giving money. I know that you don't contribute. Maybe you're one of those people who, and maybe you are Simon or one of these people who just use different names to come and, because I've not seen this name here before, so they just use different kinds of names to come and ask questions, stupid questions. I realized that he has been duping you guys and duping all of us, and now I have come to tell you by the truth that he's duping us, so that you can stop giving him. You didn't give me money to do anything, but you gave him money on an errand. He didn't do it. So now I'm opening your eyes to see that the errand you sent him, he has not filled, and you are still giving him money again to go and do more, and he's not doing anything. So I'm trying to make you understand that you are on the path of lies and error. Now, instead of you to give him that money, now come, let's all sit together now, discuss what we want to do, and then use that money and give for the purpose of what we want to do. So rather than going to give a man who didn't tell you what he wants to do, he just tells you some stuff and he didn't do anything and he's still demanding for your money, rather than giving him further money, you come now and sit so that you will be in the midst of the whole thing and you can now make decision on what you want to do. And then when we spend money to do that, we now do that. We now do that together. That is so you, Murphy, maybe you are Simon, or maybe you are one of his e-frogs on that his group. I'm just advising you now. That is the best thing to do. That is the reasonable thing to do. That's what's this climbing my body? That's the reasonable thing to do. You understand? The reasonable thing to do is you pause when somebody tells you lies and does not do what he told you he's going to do. What's the reasonable to do? The reasonable thing, any sensible person, that means you're out of your senses. That's what it means. That's what it means. You're out of your senses. Because if I tell you that I'm going to give you, give me $1 million, I'm going to, I'm going to give you a private jet, and then you give me the $1 million, and then on the date I said I'm going to deliver the private jet, I didn't deliver it, and then after the date I come to you, I said, you know what? To get a private jet now, I want to go on vacation, go relax at the beach. I want to go. I'm going to showcase the fact that I'm able to. I want to get an office. I want you to give me money to get an office. You that is buying this private jet, you are going to give me money now to fund my office, to equip my office, and to sit in my office then before I give you a private jet. Oh my God. Lord have mercy. Does it make sense to you? I'm trying to use simple things to ask you these questions. How come somebody tells you he's going to stop election, and for the past how many months, he didn't stop the election, and you are still there You are not asking questions. Don't you see that you are under a serious spell? That is why I'm telling you now that what is happening on the ground is that most of you are under spell. Juju, different kinds of juju is being utilized. That is what it's called. Like they want to distract you in this particular program. They bring Mazi's issue. Hey, sit at home. Now, let me ask you a question. Let me say this. 2 years ago, when the sit at home started, Mazi and Kanu never rejected it. He never sent a letter. And when Mazi and Kanu sent the letter, it was when Simon now has acquired enough energy using the men he has equipped on ground for himself. And after they have sworn oath to him, they now go into massive kidnapping and destruction. They now begin to impose sit at home, using it as a means of kidnapping, using it as a means of destroying the goods of the local people. They are not going after the politicians in their offices to go and destroy the office, go to police station. They are coming to the people's environment where they're selling okra, pepper, and all of that to destroy their goods, shooting at people. That is what they are doing. Mazi as the report, because Mazi Kanu has realized that this sit at home is an instrument of Takia pretext that a criminal program. When Mazi Kanu saw that it has become a criminal program, he now sends a letter. Simon, you must stop this. And the content of that letter proves how angry. He didn't even call him prime. He didn't even say the prime minister that I approved. No, he says, Simon, I order you. And you people don't see the light. You don't see the red flag. Under serious spell. Spell. S-P-L-L-L-L-L-L-L. Yourself a restore your brain. Ask yourself a simple question. Why is it that I'm not asking any question? Why? Ask yourself this simple question. Why is it that this guy is conducting all this evil and I'm not question? Rather, I'm jubilating and shouting. He told me he's going to stop the election. He didn't do it. I'm still jubilating. Am I not stupid? Ask yourself. That is the only way you're going to. His negative side came up. His of his desire, selfish desire. Hey, you're going to squander all his money. After everything, he now came to himself. Do you know one thing? Even if you're under spell, God has given us ability to reason. So you can still come back to yourself, ask yourself questions. That is why transparency and accountability group can never be manipulated. You know why? We have the right mind. See, we keep sieving, the house keeps sieving itself because truth is in control of that house, accountability and transparency group. Truth is in control. So naturally, the truth that governs the house removes people. People get uncomfortable with the truth and they run away. People get uncomfortable with the truth, they run away. That's what is happening. People get uncomfortable with the truth, they run away. Once they see that you have confronted them with the truth, they run away. That's what is happening. And then when they run away, they go on into the program of blackmail. They start going to look for one thing. Your private life or what to know concern them. They start looking for that one too. You did this. You are doing this. You are doing that. That is what lies does. It looks for things that are not substance, that have no relevance to what is the focus. That's what they're doing, but we're not bothered. We're not concerned. We are focused on the truth. That is why Jesus said, don't call me good. Don't call me good. Only God is good. We are on the program of Chukukike. That is truth. The only thing that makes accountability and transparency group good, in good standing, not good now, because it's only God that is good. The only thing that keeps us good in good standing, it is the truth that leads us. So it is not because we are good, but because God has seen in our hearts that we are on the path of truth, in spite of our weaknesses or whatever we have done wrong. That doesn't mean anyways that all the nonsense they're talking about me is true. But the truth here is that I am not God and I cannot be prophet. It's only God that is prophet. Mazi Nnamdi is not prophet. It's only God that is prophet. But God sends him as a vessel because God sees Mazi Nnamdi's heart as pure. Anybody who relies on God is pure because it is God that imputes righteousness on you. It is not your self-righteousness. There are two different things, self-righteousness and God's righteousness. We walk on the God's righteousness in accountability and transparency group, which means that everything we do is on the platter of the truth. The truth is God's righteousness imputed on human vessels that are not pure, human vessels that are not perfect, human vessels that are not clean, imputing righteousness on them or truth on them to carry out a mission for divine assignment and to divine achievement. ATTG stands on truth. Thank you, Ego. No photocopy. Truth, not truth. How you look at you look left, you look right, you look center. Everything you just see is plain. Plain. Sell it not. Sell not the truth, scripture says. Guard it. So what we do is, that is why all the jujus, they are using Simon, Azuka, all of them. Look at their hands, look at the chain rings, look at Azuka's hand, the same thing you see on Simon's hand. They are all in two different diabolic programs. Look at my hands now. You see any chain? I don't get time for all this nonsense. We are standing on the truth because it is the word of Chukwokike that is leading us. It is not about us. It is about Chukwokike. That is why I told you that we are watchers. We are watchers. We watch over the truth. So Mazi Nnamdi is taken away, and God puts us as watchers to make sure that the program to achieve Biafra is intact. So what is happening on the ground is so fundamental and massive. You must be sensitive in the spirit to understand what is happening on the ground. You must be very, very sensitive in the spirit to know what is happening on the ground. You must ask yourself questions. Why am I not condemning evil? Why is it that in spite of the fact that I am told this will happen, it doesn't happen? It goes under the carpet. I'm told. Now look at Simon, who told you that he has opened office in Finland, liaison office. Since June, he told you that. He showed you, he told you how they have furnished it. He showed you tables and everything. Simon has not gone there to broadcast one day or to sit. Till today, he's still sitting in that his room. He doesn't go to that. If you have a lesson office, how come you can spend money to rent a lesson office, but yet you cannot go there to carry out the program for that same office you opened? Because the purpose of Biafra was for the office, and the office is for the purpose of Biafra, according to him. So how come he's still in that his house where he has things put on the wall and all those candles he burns? How come he's still in that place? And he has furnished the lesson office in Finland. How come he has not gone to the head office in the United States to go and speak as the so-called prime minister? How come? Is it that you people's brain? Oh, no, I know the problem. The problem we know, of course. You are under a serious spell. What is happening on the ground now is that they want to pressure Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Then they are using their militia and people within us to cause division. And then those who have capitalized on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's to try to bind carrying out their programs. So Buff is working against the governors. That is why God is using them also to go to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and to try to talk and to discuss and to make sure that he's released. Because God will use the enemies to do what he's going to do, and at the same time he's going to destroy the enemies. So the conscience or the activity of the enemies is what condemns them. Then the truth that we speak is what destroys them. Because as soon as you are destroyed, you are condemned, judgment comes. The truth we speak is the judgment that destroys them. The lies and the evil they do is what condemns them. Because when you bring somebody before the court, what condemns them is what they have done. What has been proven they have done. It is not they themselves. It's not there because they are human beings. No, it is what they have done that brings them to condemnation. So lies, Simon, lie. Akwanwa, good to have you. Shalom. Machineke. Thank you so much. So I want you to understand this. Now let me put everything I'm saying here in simple terms. I started with the international community. no international body, organization will do anything for us unless we do it. BBC was named the most independent media outfit in this year, but yet, as independent as they claim to be, they have not conducted any independent documentary about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and how the British government has abandoned their citizen. They have not said anything about it. The British government have not said anything about it. But today, BBC has gone to Sudan, who started a war just about 110 days ago or 107 days ago. And then 3 months plus ago, BBC has gone to do documentaries to talk about those who have been raped. They're talking about those who are being kidnapped and killed, those who have been recruited into the army by the RSF, and how the abomination going on there for 3 months program. But someone who is a British citizen from that place where BBC is in has been in the confines of evil, injustice, and fundamental breach of human rights for 2 years and almost 2 months. They have not done any documentary. They have not exposed the British government, and they say they're independent. They have not exposed those who conducted this stuff. They have access because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is their citizen, so they have a right to go to Kenya. They have a right to go to the zoo. They have a right to move anywhere, as much as their citizen is in the hands of a strange people. Because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is no more, is not a citizen of Nigeria. He destroyed his nationality, just like I did on the 1st of January this year. I told you, anything that has to do with Nigeria, I'll never use it. Any document that has to do with Nigeria, I'll never use it in my life again. I'll prefer to be called an illiterate than to be a Nigerian and show a certificate in Nigeria that I went to school in Nigeria. You know, I prefer that. So now, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been there. The British confines, the British government, BBC, CNN, Al Jazeera, all of them claiming to be transparent, have not said anything about a man who represents 120 million people all over the nations of the world. They have not said anything about him. And yet, for 2 years going in their programs, they have been showing documentaries of trying to expose those who are killing monkeys. In fact, what got me irritated was 2 weeks ago when they conducted in BBC, when they were talking about, they made an investigation, undercover investigation, about some people who are very excited in killing monkeys. They abuse the monkeys and kill them. And they conducted information about the killing of baby monkeys and abuse those monkeys, and how people pay to watch all of this stuff. Some people were arrested based on because of monkeys. Yet, a citizen of Britain has been under the confines of injustice, of breach of fundamental human rights, who is a citizen of Britain, has been there for 2 years and almost 2 months. They have not made any documentary about it. They have not said anything about it. They have not discussed anything about it. They are quiet, but they have made documentaries on monkeys. They see you as less than monkeys. How many times have they made any kind of proclamation or messages about what is happening to Biafrans in Biafra land? How many times have they come to conduct documentaries to make sure they expose those behind the killings in Biafra land? Where they are making oil, where they are getting the oil, where they are making money. How many times, ask yourself this question, has the British done that? Has the CNDC, all of them, have they done any of those stuff? None of them have done all of those stuff. But yet, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is there. They have not done anything. They have not talked about Biafra, but they are talking about monkeys. How monkeys are being, unjustly brutalized. I'm not saying that killing of, killing of monkeys and in that way is good. No, but I'm saying that if they could towards monkeys, they see you are less than a monkey to them, just like what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said. You are less. They don't see you as anything. You are less than an animal. You are less than. Look, listen to what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said in this. Let me play what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said. Listen.
None of you, 200 million idiots, complete morons. You are there. You looking sheepishly like a bunch of white. In fact, a hyena is better than all of you. What?
Aina is better than all of you. You know why? Because you have put yourself in a position where this as less than an animal or less than animals. They don't. They will never. They are writing to the United Nations. All these things Mazi and Kanu have done before. Now Simon is now coming to tell people that now rewriting. He's writing to this. He's writing to that. This meeting. The same open doing. He sits in his comfort of his house and tells you he's traveling everywhere, and then puts the word visual. And some of you, of course, didn't go to school. That's why you are jumping yourself. Why don't I ask questions wrong? Why is it that I'm not asking questions? Ask yourself, why am I not asking questions in spite of all the lies? Number two, there is serious diabolic program going on your head. That answers your questions, why you're not asking questions. Serious diabolic programs going on your head. They are carrying out juju to theirs. They cast spell on anybody who watch their program, anybody who is believing in their program, who is believing in what they are doing. They cast spell on you. They cast spell on you. So you have to understand this. The better for us if we begin to ask questions. We have been in this mess for years. We have been in this mess for years. We have to free ourselves. Only the truth will make us free. And that is what I've come to tell you today. I was not supposed to exceed 1 hour, but I just have to speak this way today. I want to thank you all for being here. I'm going to talk more on this, on this, expanding it better to us next time. I want to thank you, Ego. Sorry. I want to thank you, Ego. I want to thank you, Akonwa. Thank you so much. I want to thank you also for my brother here, Ifeanyi. And also thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ifeanyi. Thank you guys. Written here. You've written here. Thank you, Ego, so much for the work you're doing. For helping to deal with these people so that I don't get distracted to be talking about them. You keep tearing them and putting them where they belong. You know how to handle all these e-frogs. They are e-frogs, so they have to jump in. And some of them are Simon or Simon's men, some of them are even, look at the name, the kind of names they use. Some of them are some of his people, and he sends them, go anywhere they are talking, go there and do rubbish. So you see them display, rather than them coming to look at what you're saying and reason out facts. They will come and begin to tell you how that you are a criminal, that you are this, you are that, you are this, you are a boy, you are a Ghana boy, you are a Sokoto boy, you are a criminal, you don't have money, you go and look for work. You see how they reason. And some of them I can feed them. They say I should go in for work, I will feed them. You think I don't have work? Oh my God. Let's not go that level. I don't want to say some things. I don't because it's childish talking about unnecessary things. I was the mark for the price of the higher calling. That's what I face facts. I don't believe in all this stuff. I don't believe in all this stuff. If I want to begin to talk about some people, when they come, we want to bring up blackmail, and I want to talk about what I've heard about them too. That means it's going to be a messy, so people just come, they just tell you this blackmail. That's what we always want to do, because we don't have facts to present to counter the truth. They don't know how facts to counter the truth. They see evil and they still defend it. That's it. That's how their minds have been corrupted and destroyed. Now, let me tell you something. When your heart, as I gave you from the book of Romans chapter 1, verse 28, as soon as they refuse to retain God in their mind, that means they refuse to retain the truth. Everything Mazi and Kanu said in that broadcast, that one I played the other time, he was talking about if you abandon Chukwukike. Wherever you see Chukwukike, put truth there so that you can understand better. If you abandon the truth. Anytime you abandon the truth, you know what happens? Your heart becomes hardened. Because the lies that comes in hardens your heart so that you will resist truth. So as soon as they refuse to acknowledge the truth in their heart, God gives them over to a reprobate mind, principles, a bad mind, things that are not right. Do you know why they have to do things that are not right? Those things they do that are not right will condemn them. And then as soon as they are condemned, the truth now destroys them. That is why in verse 29 of that same Romans chapter 1, it tells you that now, because of that reprobate mind or that unprincipled mind, they even started going into homosexuality. They started doing things that make no sense. Homosexuality, read it very well. Maybe I don't know what I should read. I don't know. And maybe next time I'm going to read it because of time. They went into homosexuality. A man will be lusting after another man. You see a man is just like me now. I go see another man. I go lust after that man. I want to have sex with a man. It's the same thing that has to do with somebody supporting lies. Somebody supporting, you see truth. You decide to embrace lies. Your conscience does not preach you. You know why? Your heart is hardened. Just like the same, you are the same as that homosexual. A woman who is looking for another woman to have sex with. What will they teach their kids as parents? They will transfer evil into their kids. Because you know why? You cannot garbage in, garbage out. You cannot give what you don't have. Some of us in this Biafra stuff, gossips. That is why we keep gossiping. All we do is gossip. All we do is look for platforms where you come and blackmail, where you come and talk rubbish, where you come and fight, where you come and you don't reason. All you do, you go move from one group to the other, you gossip. Some of you who have come to accountability group, you want to come and destroy. You can't destroy. You have become an agent of darkness. It is the same thing as a homosexual. That evil heart, reprobate mind. You can imagine somebody comes into a group to destroy the structure. You want to destroy the structure. What have been set, you come, you say, no, it's not going to be like that. And when somebody wants to, you say the person wants to impose themselves. Or the person wants to impose himself. When people speak truth, you say, no, they are trying to impose themselves. And then you are talking authoritatively, imposing your will. And that will you are imposing is to destroy the structure. You want to destroy the structure. We know how people have tried to destroy the accountability and transparency group structure. We said no. We stood on principles. We said no. You know why? We don't have a reprobate mind. We don't have a reprobate mind. And you see, this accountability and transparency group, you will see what God is going to use us for. Because we are standing on Chukwokige, which is the truth. It is not by ourselves, it's not by us, not of our works, so we cannot boast. We are boasting in God, Chukwokige. That is where our boast is in. Because it is the truth that enables us. It is the truth that draws men. You know what God said? When I be lifted up, I will draw men. So what we do is we lift God up. We lift Chukwokige, that's the truth, up. He now draws men to us. Because men want to be delivered in truth. But the few that have had their hearts corrupted by demonic programs would want to frustrate the majority that wants to see the truth. And so that is why we keep coming out like this to speak, so that the people can still keep hearing the voice of truth and not be misled. No wonder Jesus said in Matthew chapter 24, he said that if the days are not shortened, even the very elect might be deceived. Those who are on the path of truth might be deceived. Because there is this subtle way, these people of lies, these people who have lies, what they do, they are so subtle, just like the Antichrist. They are so subtle that they have sweet tongue, they know how to deceive the people to believe in their truth. But yet, you look at what they are doing, you know it's full of lies. But yet, people are still being deceived. You wonder how. You wonder how. That is what it is. We have come to keep the mandate of Biafra as Mazi and Kanu has it in his heart. We are watchers. We watch over the truth. We watch over the program. Accountability and Transparency Group does not have any leader except Mazi and Kanu. Recently, somebody came up, some people came up, they wanted to impose, say we must have a leader. They were talking about we must have a leader. No, I said, don't you understand? We say we have a leadership structure. Mazi and Kanu is the leader. Then we have another level, where everybody is on the same level. And everybody is a leader. So leadership must not be that you must put one person in front and begin to call that person, hey, this is our leader. No. They started again. They started wanting to impose. You're talking about let's bring somebody, make somebody a spokesperson. Oh, I say okay. You people want to go the line of Simon. You start with spokesperson. After spokesperson, before you know, the person will now say, okay, you now begin to misbehave. We don't need that. Mazi Nnamdi is the leader. He's in the dungeon. We have to rescue him. We have to free him. He will come out and meet a people who are ready to work in departments, working, bringing out their talents and their gifting, working in the departments to get results, not to come and showcase who they are or to tell you that they are leaders. I'm not interested in leadership position. None of us is. None of us there is interested in leadership position. We are all there to work, and we work in departments to get results. We're not here for all this nonsense. Yeah, command and control. I'm the one in charge. You must listen to. No. Mazi Nnamdi is the voice that God has given to us, and we listen to him. And through him, we have been able to hear all that God has for us. Now he's going to come out to meet a people who are going to be working in departments, nobody claiming to be the leader. Only him is the leader. And then he works with us, because he was going to listen to. Mazi Nnamdi is a listener. He's going to listen to every of us. He's going to go with the decision of the people. That is why we say, come and join us, so that you will be part of that team. When Mazi Nnamdi comes out, you will know that your voice counts. You will know that when you speak, what you say and what we agree to do, Mazi Nnamdi speaks about it and implements it. That tells us that we have gotten the right structure for our freedom. Because from time we have been Republicans. Even if in those days they have elders, those elders don't take decisions. They sit with the people decide, then they execute what the people decide. That has been our style. But when the British came, they corrupted the system. They brought warrant chiefs. They brought different kinds of things. They corrupted the system. They gave orders. They make sure that some people, they design people like Ohaneze, Pandef, and other people. They create a structure where people impose. That is how we got into trouble. Today we're suffering. But we want to restore that Republican nature that we are. We want that Republican nature to be established. As Mazi Nnamdi is coming out, he's entering into a terrain of disciplined people. This time around, under the accountability and transparency group, educated people who are intellectually sound. It's not about certificate, university certificate. No, intellectually sound. Those are the people coming in. Those who are intellectually sound, not people who are academically sound. Yes, you can be academically sound, but you may not be intellectually sound. So whether you're academically sound or intellectually sound, if you're academically sound, you must be intellectually sound to work with us. Because if you're academically sound, you will come in and start playing Nigeria program, because academics has to do with it's always talking about what's Nigeria. They always want to go in the line of Nigeria. The reason is odd, because their intellectual side is not developed. But we want you, as long as you're intellectually sound, even if you are not academically sound, you will do wonders in this accountability and transparency group. That means you reason well. We just need people who reason well. It's not about qualification. So you're welcome. You can call the number on screen. Let me put the number so that for those who can call the number or send the message to the number, you can send the message. We'll get the message, and then we're going to call you, and then we're going to discuss with you and fix your meeting. Send a message to that WhatsApp number. That number on WhatsApp only. Just send a message to. We want, especially if you have something to offer. Let's restore our freedom by ourselves collectively. It is not for one people. Let's sit down together to discuss, and then when Mazi Nnamdi have gone, what do you think about this? What do you think? He reasons with us, and then we now reach an agreement. We execute, because we are coming with serious ideas under the accountability and transparency that will change the status quo of how Biafra project had been run all these years. That will change. These people have dragged Mazi Nnamdi behind so long. Thinking of again, but this time around, under the accountability and transparency group, nobody can drag anybody behind, because once you come, we are watchers. We watch you, we observe you, and try to impose, bring all those. You will tell you, no, you don't go that way. This is how. That's why we have rules. We have a standard. We have objectives, and we have everything set for what we are doing. That's it. So thank you all for joining. For those of you who are here, please share this broadcast on all your social media platforms. Also, like this page, like this video, and share it on all your social media platforms. Let the people hear the truth. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe to the channel right on Twitter also. Transparency very soon, and all of those page group, Facebook. Please go and join that page. Follow the page, Accountability and Transparency Group page on Facebook. Very soon to be very, very active. It was opened recently. We have Accountability and Transparency YouTube page. Very soon it will be very active. We're going to be working seriously. We have Accountability and Transparency Group on Twitter. Very, very active. It will be very active very soon. And of course, so just go there, join those groups, join the page, like, subscribe to the Accountability and Transparency Group on YouTube. So follow the page on Facebook, Accountability and Transparency Group. Also on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter. Go there, check Accountability and Transparency Group, and follow and like and subscribe to them. Also, Biafra Global Network also gives you information, and very, very effective. You subscribe to the channel, you like it, you send the message everywhere. You can also go on Biafra Global Network on Facebook page, join the page, let's communicate, let's discuss. You bring your ideas, we rub minds, and then we do the right thing. The important thing is that we must together come under one umbrella to restore Biafra, so that we can sanitize, restructure, and do the right thing. ATGs of Chukwukike, thank you so much, Ego. Thank you so much for the great job you're doing here. Great job. Thank you, everyone who is here. And I want to appreciate you all, and those Simon, who is here also, and his rogue team members who are here. We know that you have gotten the truth. The truth is your destruction, and your conscience, and the evil you are doing is your condemnation. So we are here. We are good to go. Thank you all. I appreciate you. I love you all. Today is the first day of August. I want to wish you a lovely week, a lovely month. And of course, today is 1st of August, 2023. I want to wish you all the best you want for yourself in this new month. And I want to say that Chukwukike guide you, protect you, and lead you. You shall not be a victim of evil. The cross bullets of those evil people killing people in Biafra land, those who have allowed themselves to be cajoled by, manipulated by juju, and cajoled by those who have kept them under spell, and all of that. So we all must be on the right. Thank you so much, Akwanwa. All hail Accountability Group. Thank you so much, Akwanwa. Good to have you here as always, and always doing the right thing and following the right path. Thank you so much, all of you who are part of this. I appreciate you all, and meet you again, hopefully tomorrow. Hopefully, let's see how it goes. Hopefully, but we'll always be here to speak the truth. Thank you. I appreciate you all, and I salute you. God bless you all. Really good. Thank you so much. Share this broadcast.